Welcome back to the deep dive. We got the request, and we dove into the source. The Galveston Firefighters Pension Fund Plan document, specifically looking at retirement and benefits starting June 1st, 2025. It's pretty dense stuff.
It really is. Lots of details, lots of specific triggers and dates.
So our mission today is basically to map this out for you. We want to clarify the different ways you can actually get retirement income from this plan, the standard route, the quicker options, even that complex DIRAPI plan.
And crucially, understanding what exactly you need to do or be, age, service years to unlock each specific benefit. It's all about those triggers.
Right. So let's start with the baseline, the main goal everyone's aiming for, normal service retirement.
Yeah, that's the foundation. Everything else kind of branches off from this one.
Okay, so to hit that normal retirement date, get fully vested, what does the plan actually require?
It boils down to two core requirements. You got to meet both.
And those are?
First, you need to hit age 50. That's the age gate.
Okay, age 50. And second?
Second, you need 20 years of service. Completed service.
So, age 50 and 20 years. Once you hit both, you can stop working and get your full pension right away?
That's exactly it. You can terminate service and start receiving the full, non-reduced normal service retirement benefit immediately.
And how do they figure out how much that benefit is? The plan's pretty specific on the calculation, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Pinpoint precision, like you said. It's a formula.
Right. It's 3.00% times something.
3% of your highest 60-month average salary, and then you multiply that result by your total years of service.
That highest 60-month average salary, that seems important. Why the highest 60 months, not just, say, the last 60?
Oh, that's really designed for your protection,
Yeah.
It means if maybe your hours or salary dipped a bit towards the very end of your career for some reason, the calculation still uses your peak 5-year earning period.
Ah, okay. So it locks in your best performance over any 5-year stretch.
Exactly. It anchors the benefit to your highest earning potential during that time.
Okay, so 3% per year times that highest 5-year average salary, triggered by age 50 and 20 years service. That's the ideal path.
That's the standard, yeah.
But what if? What if you've got the 20 years, but you're just not 50 yet, and maybe you're ready to leave?
Right. And this is where some pretty significant choices come into play.
Yeah.
If you meet the service requirement but not the age, the plan gives you two distinct options.
Two paths. And getting this right seems critical. You mentioned it's maybe the biggest financial decision outside of DRP.
It really can be, yeah, because the implications last for your entire retirement.
Okay, let's break down Path A first. This is called Early Service Retirement Benefits. Who is this for?
This is for the firefighter who hits that 20 years of service mark or more, but decides to terminate before turning 50. And crucially, they want income immediately.
They need the cash flow now. But there's a catch, right? A big one.
A very big one. If you choose this, you get a reduced monthly retirement benefit, and it's not a small reduction.
How reduced are we talking?
The plan uses interpolation based on your exact age at termination. But the examples are stark. If you leave and take this benefit at, say, age 38,
Yeah.
you might only receive 36.62% of the full benefit you technically earned, less than 40%.
Wow. Okay, so if your full benefit was calculated at like $5,000 a month, taking it that early means you'd get less than $8,850 a month forever.
Exactly. It's a massive lifetime penalty. The plan really, really wants you to wait until 50 if possible.
And the penalty shrinks the closer you get to 50, like at age 49.
Right. The source material shows at age 49, the reduction isn't nearly as bad. You'd get 91.69% of your benefit. That one extra year makes a huge difference.
That's a massive jump. Okay, so that steep penalty, it pushes you towards the other option, Path B.
It certainly encourages you to consider Path B very carefully. This is the vested termination benefit. Think of it as deferred income.
Okay, vested termination. What's the trigger here? Is it the same?
Same trigger in terms of service. You need at least 20 years, but you're not yet age 50 when you terminate.
But the key difference is when the money starts.
Precisely. With this option, your benefit payment is deferred. It doesn't start until you actually attain age 50.
So you leave the job maybe at 45, but no pension checks until your 50th birthday.
Correct. You have to bridge that gap financially yourself.
But the payoff is, when you do turn 50, what's the benefit amount?
You get the full, unreduced normal service retirement benefit, calculated based on your service and highest salary when you left, but you get 100% of that calculated amount. No penalty like in Path A.
Okay, so the decision really boils down to, do you need cash now, even if it's heavily reduced for life, Path A? Or can you wait until 50 to get the full amount you earned, Path B?
That's the core trade-off. Immediate need versus maximizing your lifetime pension value.
And you can't change your mind later.
Absolutely not. This is critical. The vested termination option, Path B, is only available if you do not elect the early service retirement benefit first. Once you take even one of those reduced checks from Path A, that's it. Your choice is locked in.
That's a huge point. Okay, so those are the options before 50. Now, what about this other track? The one for people who work beyond the basic retirement age, the D-Draw-P.
Yes, the D-Draw-P, the Deferred Retirement Option Plan. This is, well, it's a different animal altogether. It's a voluntary choice, but it completely changes how your final payout is structured. It replaces the normal or early benefit if you elect it.
And it sounds complex right from the start, even just figuring out when you qualify or when the calculations begin. There's a specific Draw-P benefit calculation date.
Yes, and it's not straightforward. The plan says this date is the later of two specific dates.
The later of two. Why structure it that way?
It seems designed to make sure you put in significant time and that the accumulation period has a defined structure. The first date is basically setting the maximum due draw period length.
Okay, what's that first date?
It's 36 months prior to the first day of the month after you actually terminate service.
Yeah.
So it essentially creates a maximum 3-year window looking back from your retirement date for the DROP accumulation.
Right, a 3-year look back. And the second date, you said it's the later of the two.
The second date is very specific. It's the date you attain age 51.5 A&D, complete 21.5 years of service.
51 and a half and 21 and a half years. That's interesting. Just a bit past the normal 50 and 20.
Exactly. It feels like it's specifically rewarding that extra year and a half of service beyond the standard retirement threshold.
So you have to hit both the age service mark, 51.5, 21.5, and be within that potential 3-year look-back window from when you plan to leave.
Correct. The calculation date is the later one, so you need to satisfy both conditions before the DROP benefit calculation can be established.
Okay. And once you're in the DROP and that calculation date is set, what do you actually get when you finally retire? It's like a 2-part benefit.
It is. It's a hybrid. Part 1 is your ongoing monthly retirement benefit. This is calculated based on your service and salary as of that DROP calculation date.
So your pension amount freezes at that point?
Essentially, yes. You start receiving that fixed monthly amount when you terminate service. And importantly, the sources note this monthly amount doesn't include any future cost of living adjustments or other ad hoc increases that might happen after your DROP calculation date.
Okay, fixed monthly check. What's part 2? The lump sum.
That's the main attraction for many, yes. Component 2 is the lump sum amount. This is calculated and paid out when you terminate.
And what goes into that lump sum calculation?
It's made up of 2 pieces. First, it includes all the employee contributions you made during the time you were in the DROP period.
Your own money back.
Right. But critically, the plan is very clear. No interest is credited on those contributions while they're sitting there during the DROP period.
Ah, good to know.
Yeah.
No interest growth on your contributions. What's the other piece of the lump sum?
The second, and usually much larger piece, is the total amount of the deferred monthly retirement benefits that you would have received if you had retired back on that DROP calculation date.
So the pension checks you didn't take because you were still working basically pile up in this account for you.
Exactly. That's the main growth engine of the lump sum. The plan is essentially paying your pension into this side account while you continue to work and draw a salary.
And when you finally get that lump sum at termination, do you have to take it all at once?
You have some flexibility there, which is good for tax planning. Subject to federal tax rules, of course, you can take it as a single distribution.
Right.
Or you can elect to receive it in up to 5 payments spread out over a maximum of 36 months after you terminate service. Gives you time to manage the tax impact.
Okay, that covers the main retirement paths and the DROP. Let's shift gears to something really important, the safety net. What happens if a firefighter can't continue working due to injury or illness? Disability retirement.
Right, absolutely crucial. And the way this plan handles disability is, well, it changes over time. The definition of disabled isn't static.
How does it change?
There's a 2-stage definition based on how long you've been disabled. For the first 2.5 years, 2.5 years, the test is about your specific job.
So for the first 30 months, you just need to be unable to do the job of a firefighter.
Correct. Unable to perform the duties of your occupation. That's the standard.
But after that 2.5-year mark,
The standard gets tougher. Thereafter, the plan requires you to be unable to perform the duties of any occupation for which you're reasonably suited.
Any occupation. Wow, so not just firefighting, but any job your education, training, or experience might qualify you for.
Exactly. It moves from an occupational disability standard to a much broader kind of total and permanent disability standard related to gainful employment. That's a significant shift.
Definitely something you need to be aware of. But how is the actual benefit amount calculated if you are deemed disabled under either definition? There's a greatest of rule.
Yes, and this is designed to be favorable, to provide a solid floor. The plan calculates the benefit in 3 different ways, and you simply get whichever amount is the highest.
Okay, what are the 3 calculations they compare?
First is the standard formula, just like normal retirement. 3% of your highest 60-month average salary multiplied by your years of service up to the date you became disabled.
Your earned benefit, essentially. What's the second calculation?
The second provides a potentially much higher floor, especially if you haven't been there that long. It's 60%. 60% of your highest 60-month average salary.
60%, regardless of service years.
Regardless of service years. For someone disabled early in their career, that 60% could be significantly more than the 3% per year calculation.
Okay, and the third calculation?
That's just a minimum dollar amount guarantee, $400 per month.
So you get the highest of 3% times service, 60% of salary, or $400 a month.
Correct. Whichever is greatest. It's a pretty robust protection structure.
And interestingly, someone retiring on disability might still be able to use the DRP.
Yes, the plan allows for that interconnection. If a firefighter meets the disability criteria, but also happens to meet those specific D-drop eligibility requirements, we talked about the age 51.5 and 21.5 years of service, they could potentially elect the D-drop option, even though they're leaving due to disability.
So the plan structure allows for the most advantageous path, even in that difficult circumstance.
Okay, so you've figured out when you can retire and how your basic benefit is calculated, whether it's normal, early, vested, or disability. But there's one last really critical decision.
Right, how the money is actually paid out, the form of payment. And this is huge for protecting a spouse, isn't it?
It's absolutely vital. This choice often determines the financial security of your surviving spouse for the rest of their life.
Okay.
And it's usually an irrevocable choice once payments start.
So what's the default option, the normal form of payment?
Yes, that's the default. It's designed to give the highest monthly payout to you, the firefighter, during your lifetime.
But what happens to the payments when the firefighter passes away?
Under this normal form, 2/3, 23 of that defined benefit amount, continues to the surviving spouse for their lifetime.
2/3. So the spouse sees a 1/3 reduction in income.
Correct.
What if the firefighter wants to make sure the spouse gets 100% of the benefit after they're gone?
Then they need to actively choose the optional form of payment, specifically the 100% joint and survivor option.
Okay, 100% for the spouse. But choosing this comes at a cost, right? It affects the initial payout.
It does.
Right.
To provide that 100% lifetime guarantee for the spouse, the firefighter has to accept a reduced monthly benefit right from the start while they're both alive.
It's like buying insurance for the spouse's future income stream. How much is the reduction? Is it specified?
Yes, the plan is very precise. The calculated monthly benefit is multiplied by an adjustment percentage of 97%.
97%. Okay, let's run the numbers again. If your normal benefit was, say, $5,000 a month, choosing this 100% survivor option means your check is immediately reduced to $4,850.
That's right. $5,000 times 97% is $4,850.
That's right. $5,000 times 97% is $4,850. So you give up $150 a month every single month for the rest of your life.
So that if you die first, your spouse continues to receive that same $4,850 a month for the rest of their life instead of dropping to 2/3.
That's a major decision. Weighing that 3% reduction now against lifelong security for your spouse later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because it's such a significant decision impacting the spouse, it actually requires written spousal consent to elect this optional form.
Makes sense. And once you start receiving payments under either form, normal, or optional, can you change your mind?
No. The election is irrevocable once the first monthly benefit payment has been made. And importantly, this optional 100% survivor form can also be elected if you retire under the DRP plan. #tagoutro.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground here. So wrapping this deep dive up, what's the main takeaway from navigating this Galveston Firefighters plan?
I think the biggest thing is just how structured and date-sensitive everything is. Your benefits are absolutely defined by hitting specific triggers, age 50, 20 years service, or that unique 51.5 and 21.5 for the DRP.
And the timing of when you leave, especially before age 50, forces a really tough choice between immediate but reduced income versus waiting for the full earned benefit.
Huge choice.
Yeah.
And then you have that final layer of deciding on the payment form, taking the standard payout, or accepting that permanent 3% reduction, the 97% factor,
Yeah.
to guarantee 100% income for your surviving spouse.
It really demands that you, the firefighter, understand these rules well in advance and plan accordingly. It's not just about showing up to work, it's about actively managing these thresholds and choices.
Absolutely. The plan is meticulous right down to the disability rules, which actually brings up maybe one final thought. Bit of complexity we noticed.
Yeah, what's that?
It's about that shift in the disability definition. After 2.5 years, it goes from being unable to do your firefighter job to being unable to do any job you're suited for.
Right, that tougher standard.
So the provocative question is this. How do you prepare financially for a scenario where maybe you recover enough that you're no longer considered disabled under that stricter any occupation rule, but you're still physically unable to ever go back to being a firefighter?
So the disability pension could stop, but you might not have found or be able to do another job that replaces that income, especially the firefighter salary.
Exactly. There seemed to be a potential gap there. The plan addresses disability during the period you meet its definition, but what about that transition after? It raises a big question about planning for career changes or secondary income protection that falls outside the pension plan itself.
That's a really interesting and, frankly, challenging point embedded in the rules, something crucial to consider.
Definitely food for thought.
Well, thank you for breaking down this complex document with us. Hopefully this gives everyone a clearer map of the Galveston Firefighters Pension Plan.
Hope it helped you navigate your options with more confidence.
We appreciate you joining us. We'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.